once you step into a company, you see, okay, this is how a company works. This is how I need to deliver the tickets and all everything. I still do remember my first internship was very hard. I was stressed and it felt like a lot. It was the first time I was seeing someone else's code base and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like that for 1 or 2 weeks. But after that, I coped up, and this fear of getting into huge code bases went away. Every first step is the hardest step, but if you move forward with it, the rest of the steps become much easier. Don't afraid to explore. Find your niche, stick to that niche. Once you find your niche, you have to be committed to it. So there is no, that's the point where it's like there is no going back.
Okay, so let me introduce me. Okay, so Dada, I am Saurodeep and I'm the host of this podcast, 50 Shades of Tech. And here we bring industry figures like you, industry veterans like you, and where you will be discussing and such that you can inspire us all along, and we'll be discuss and discover the various shades of technology that are out there, and that's it. And for those who don't know Soham, the I have known Soham the since RCCIIT's event Open Source Safari. There I have attended his lecture. I mean, his not his lecture actually. It was more of a humorous ride. I mean, the speech he gave there, it was totally, I mean, totally relatable, and it was so humorous that I can totally recall it right now. And then there was Hack for Bengal, where I met him, and he told us lots of fun stories. And then there came Falls and Hackathon, where I was the mentor there, and he was judge. And apart from this, apart from a meeting, so let's talk about him. So he has been a GSoC mentor and a mentee for 2 years, and he has also worked with PwC as a SecOps intern. And so apart from that, Dada, would you like to add something more so that the audience can totally understand about you?
Yeah, of course. So thanks for having me in this podcast. It's wonderful, always wonderful to talk about the current scene of the industry. People like you. And yeah, it's always exciting and it's quite of refreshing for people like us because at the end of all the formal meetings throughout the day and looking into huge code bases, this gives us a bit of refreshment, right? So we can talk freely about other stuff, answer questions of people like you, and that's pretty refreshing for me. And the things that you mentioned, yeah, the main thing you mentioned that I worked at PwC, so that's the hardest part of my small career till yet. So yeah, not a veteran, industry veteran, only 2 years of industry experience. So not a veteran at all. But yeah, I have been through some of the ups and downs of a small career till now. So I'm pretty excited to talk about anything and everything related to tech, non-tech, or anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
story they over to you then. So let's just
Yeah.
start and get along.
Yeah, let's so start with the first question. So before all that, I mean, what made you to start in tech? I mean, what made you to choose computer science at all?
See, this is a very good question to ask because this dates back to my class six days. So when I was in class six, I spent most of my days in a particular computer repair shop. So at that point of time, I was pretty much used to, okay, let's plug in this, plug in that, let's see what happens. And I saw people or the people in that particular shop repairing computers. So I was also like, okay, I'll also learn it. I'll also get into it. And the first building block of interest in computers came from that. That was nothing related to software, but I loved building custom PC builds and other stuff. So right from that point of time, I have this connection with computers and others. And then came class 10 where I had to decide, okay, I do want to take up computer science or biology as subject for class 11. That was a huge war in my family, but I ended up taking computer science, got into the bits and bits of software, felt like home, adopted it, and that's where it led me. I mean, I there was a this was a no-brainer decision to choose what as my career path. So I chose computer science. Now I am thankful for it. So I chose that route. So yeah,
So yeah, so in your first year, you did a lot of freelancing projects. I have heard it. So I mean, so what was your experience about those freelancing projects, and how did you got your first freelancing client?
yep, this is a good thing to do since the first year itself. I consider myself lucky to be in a COVID batch. So the year that our college started was 2020, and everyone was locked into their homes, and the computer was the only thing of interaction throughout.
Okay,
Somebody
one
trying to
second,
say
one second.
something.
Yeah, disable me.
Mhm.
I have.
Don't disable my mic though.
No, no.
All right. So yeah, everybody was locked into their homes, and I had a laptop which couldn't run more than Valorant. That was the only game that I it ran properly. Other than that, I didn't have any other chance to play games. So the only thing that I could do was let's learn something, let's do something. So I chose to build websites and other stuff. So the neat part comes, where did I get this contracts from, right? To how to actually deliver problems. I mean, not deliver problems, deliver the solution to the problems. So if you, I started up with Fiverr. It's very hard to get noticed in Fiverr, to be honest. But luckily, I had some connections. Luckily, I had some people who were actually doing freelance, and this is where the part of getting business from other people comes in. So these freelance people they already had a job, they already had two, three projects in their hand, and they were quite filled up. So I just reached out to them and said, "Hey, I'm free. If you have any easy project, I can do that. I'll do it in a fraction of a budget, and I'm looking forward to it." So that's how I did. I halved the budget, took up the project, and delivered. So that's how I got into this freelancing world in my first year of the college itself. And of course, COVID, no college studies, could do this the whole day, get some sleep, and that was the daily life during the COVID years. So yeah, that's how I got into this freelance world in my first year.
I mean, in COVID, you don't have to go to the college, right? That is the greatest advantage of COVID.
Uh, uh, Not only that, you had online examinations, right?
Yes.
That was the best thing to happen
Yeah.
for this kind of scenarios.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, there are people who will again take that advantage if they're provided with. See, for online exams, you need not to have, nobody studied. You had that ample amount of time with you. So let's use that time to do something else. So I used to do this.
Okay, great. Then you started your first internship in the first year, right?
I started my first internship at the end of my first year and carried forward with to it. It was a company based on Bhopal. And that was the first stepping stone of getting into the world of development. Because freelancing is just like doing your own stuff in your own way, just doing it and delivering it. But once you step into a company, you see, okay, this is how a company works. This is how I need to deliver the tickets and all everything. So that was the stepping stone for it. I still do remember my first internship was very hard. I was stressed and it felt like a lot. It was the first time I was seeing someone else's code base and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like that for 1 or 2 weeks. But after that, I coped up, and this fear of getting into huge code bases went away. So that's it. Every first step is the hardest step, but if you move forward with it, the rest of the steps become much, much easier. So
So there are many first, second years actually, second years watching this podcast among the audience. So what tips you would like to give them such that they can grab their first internship and first or first freelancing client maybe?
see, domain of development or domain of getting a internship or freelance is huge. You need to know what is your niche. At second year, just try to find your niche. It can be backend development, it can be front end development, it can be design, it can be product management, it can even be doing other stuff. So just find your niche, explore everything. In second year, you have the time to explore anything and everything. So don't afraid to explore. Find your niche, stick to that niche. Once you find your niche, you have to be committed to it. So there is no, that's the point where it's like there is no going back. So once you're committed to a particular tech stack or a particular skill, you just need to master it. Don't try to be the master of all trades. It genuinely needs you to know it. I've seen people doing this. It doesn't lead you to anywhere. So just stick to your skill, be confident about it, be the master of that skill, and never be shy to portray your skills. Publish it, write blogs, talk about it among your friends, publish your skills, advertise yourself. That's how you get exposure and you get into internships and freelances. So that's the only thing that I'll see. So second year people, just get your head down, explore each and everything that is in front of you, take one niche, be the master of it, and just own the whole world. And yeah, in second year, I would say participate in hackathons, dig into open source. The world is just yours. I mean, there's everything in to explore right now, and just find what clicks for you. And you will get to know what clicks for you. You'll feel at that point of time that when you're developing something or you're creating something, it is not like a job. It's not like, okay, it tires me out, it drains a lot of energy from you. No, it will, you will feel like, okay, I'm doing something, I'm feeling motivated to do. Yeah, this goal is achieved, let's move on to the next goal, next step. So that's how it feels when you actually get your niche and get hold of it. So yeah, that's the only thing.
I mean, Dada, you mentioned that you got your first freelancing client from connections. And so, what is the proportion of connections and versus skill? I mean, which one is more important? To be highly skilled enough and have zero connections, whereas to be highly connected with great people and have beginner to intermediate skills.
It's just the part of two sides of a coin. It's just as important to have connections as to have this skill. So without skill, if you have a lot of connections, some names are popping in my mind, but all right. Uh, you will need to know it. They will know that you don't have skill. And if you have a lot of skill but have no connections, nobody knows that you have the skill. Then what's the use of it? So you need, this is a perfect balance that you need to maintain. You need to have good connections. You need to have polished proper skills. Then only you will move forward and people will be like, okay, this guy knows stuff and I'll refer this guy to someone else. So that's the thing. You need to maintain an equal balance of connections and skills. And how do you get connections in your first and second year? Go to hackathons, attend talks, uh, talk to your seniors, and that's how you gain connections. And once you make a connection, it lives on for your entire life, mostly. So yeah,
So, you got your first internship at the end of the first year, right? So, in second
exactly.
year, yeah, second year, you started contributing to GSoC. All right,
And yes,
right.
in the at the middle of my second year, got into this Google Summer of Code thing. That's a completely different story. So our that is actually I started open source because I was feared of huge code bases. When I got into my first internship, I saw that huge code base and I was like, okay, this is the real world that I'm stepping in. Let's get accustomed to it. So I started contributing to open source just because I wanted to get myself accustomed to different code bases, different huge code bases. So I got into their organizations, repositories, saw their issues, and tried to solve the issues. So if you automatically, when you are trying to solve a minor issue, you have to go through the entire code base to point out where exactly the issue is. And this exercise is very helpful. So you are not only just solving one small issue, you are actually getting accustomed to browse whole code bases and other stuff. So that's where this thing came up. And I made myself a commitment like at the end of the day, let's have two PRs. By hook or crook, let's have two PRs fixed. Let that be rejected, let that be closed or something like that. But I will raise two PRs at the end of the day and two quality PRs. I can do one doc change and raise three PRs every day, but that's not the goal. Let's raise two quality PRs every day and let's move forward. It was hard. I felt sometimes I did feel like giving up and do other stuff rather than doing open source. But yeah, having that consistency is all that takes. So that helped me a lot. That helped me a lot.
Okay. So there might have been times where you were consistent enough, but there were 2 or 3 days days of break. I mean, there's a break in the
Mhm.
consistency. So again, you have to be consistent. So how was the mentality back there? I mean, you have been consistent enough, but then there had been 2 or 3 or 4 days break. I mean, then you have to start again. So how did you overcome that challenge?
It's like a habit. Once you are consistent enough to move forward and commit, okay, like I'm gonna make two PRs every day and stuff like that, it becomes a habit for you. So when you don't, when you skip a day, your brain was like, okay, I skipped one day, I have to get it to tomorrow. So the motivation increases by two times. So that's how I map myself. Rather than getting demotivated, I skipped a day, let's skip 2 more days. I was like, okay, I skipped a day, I have to make up for it. So that was what I followed. There were times when I got tired and stuff like that. That I mean, browsing throughout the code base, not able to understand anything. And at the end of the day, let's say rather than raising two PRs, I just was able to manage one PR and was not able to solve some other issue. So it's just like not losing the motivation. There will be downs, there will be times when you will be feeling like giving up in this open source journey. But the thing is, like, you need to keep moving, even if it's little. You just need to keep moving. That's it. If you just stop, then then it becomes very hard to move again. So every day, let's move little. If even if it's just solving an issue in local and not even raising a PR, that is also movement. So just keep moving each and every day, and that's how it carries the inertia forward. That's
Okay, so Dada, you have to choose your organization to contribute over at GSoC. So how did you make a choice that which organization to choose and which not to?
see. I say this everywhere I go. That choosing an organization is just like choosing a partner for yourself. So they will also look for certain characters in you, and you also need to look some characteristics in them. So if you see that, okay, first criteria, as I'm saying from a boy's point of view, but you'll get the point. That first thing that we look forward to is that if they respond back to us, right? You submit them PRs, you cold email the mentors and other stuff, you ask them things. If they respond back to you, if they respond, okay, there is a green signal to move ahead. I'm telling both the cases. Okay, not only for organization, in the other case also. That's how you move forward. They respond you back, you get the motivation to do work for them. You try to solve issues, you solve an issue and they accept it. That's where the dopamine hits. I actually solved an issue for them. And they also have a trust in you. Okay, this person is solving issues for me. Let's reward him by giving some recognition and other stuff. So there's a mutual amount of trust between the contributor and the organizations. So you go each and everywhere, you submit them their work, somewhere you get accepted. Yep. Once your PR gets accepted or mentors start replying to you, again focus on that particular organization itself. Let's just cancel out all the rest of the organization. Let's just focus on that particular organization itself. And they will also know that this person is committed to me and this person will be benefiting the entire project. So that's how this mutual trust begins, and you get into the world of open source organization. So once you find a match for you, that's your organization for Google Summer. So that's how it started. That's how it worked. And this advice will not only work for Google GSoC organizations, this will also work for finding a partner in it. So either way, it works.
Okay. So you mentioned getting feedback from them. I mean, you first solve a PR and then you get feedback from them. And that what's it's the feeling that motivates you. I mean, the feedback that you have worked and the congratulations part. I mean, the connections part. It's what motivates you, right? I mean, it's
See,
how things work, right?
yes, at the end of the day, if I'm creating some software or solving a particular issue that impacts thousands of users and making their life easy, that's the motivating factor for me. But I'll tell you, it's not same for everyone. It might be the congratulation parts for someone. It might be the monetary value for someone. It might be getting connections for someone. So whatever motivates you gets you going, right? For me, it was like, okay, people are using my code. My code is getting executed 15,000 times each and every day. That part of the line that I wrote, it's getting executed 15,000 times per day. So that was my motivation. Yeah, I built something, people are using it and getting benefit from it. So yeah.
Okay. So you did contribute bunch of contributions in second year, and then in third year you got our second year into JSON.
At the middle of second year, again at the middle of third year.
Third year.
So yeah, 20,
Yes.
2023. Yeah.
I mean, so how was the feeling? I mean, to getting two times the JSON. How was the feeling back
The
then?
feeling was, yeah, back then, first time I didn't have any expectations, to be honest. I filled up the application and the proposal itself. I never expected to be getting into the summer of code. But it took around 30 minutes for me to digest when I had that mail. Okay, finally I got accepted. That was the first time feeling, to be honest. And the rest of the things just follow, right? Doing the work and all everything. And those 3 months went fast, just like a moment it went. It started in May and out of nowhere it was September. So yeah, that was the feeling for the first time. And the second time also it was I just to be honest, I was like, okay, I have an internship, I'm doing stuff. Let's just apply for it because I had plans for extending my project from first year itself. The first GSoC year, I made a project and I had plans for extending that project and I made a proposal for that. So they were like, okay, let's finish it and accept this guy again and let's finish that entire module. So that's how I got into the second phase of the Google Summer of Code. And yeah, that project is completely done. They are now maintaining it. They are now making UI components for it. And luckily, I am the mentor of that project. So it's a legacy thing for now, associated with one single project for over 3 years. Or yeah, 3 years right now.
So in your second, I mean, in your first year, so what technology you chose? I mean, what technology to study? I mean, front end, back end. I mean, I know back end. So
Completely,
yeah.
yeah, completely back end, but people will laugh at me for choosing that particular tech stack. That is PHP. I did the entire Google Summer Code for first year itself. I did the entire thing on PHP. And that is one of the reasons I got selected. Nobody was willing to work on PHP, and I did. So yeah, sometimes legacy frameworks can save your life. So that's it. And the second year, it was more on JavaScript and Python. So that's
So after that, you chose to explore cybersecurity. So what was the gap? I mean, what was the divergence? What made you to shift from back end to cybersecurity?
yeah, there was no divergence, I'll tell you. But this is the exact thing that I told a few minutes back to explore all domains, right? In the second year itself. So I was also exploring various domains. And I found cybersecurity to be very intriguing. And I used to solve CTFs back in my school days. So I had this. association with cybersecurity. So yeah, if backend development was my plan A, cybersecurity was my plan B. And I kept my plan. I enjoyed doing CTFs, solving other stuffs. I even organized CTF events in my college back in those days. So when I was completely tired with backend development, I shifted to cybersecurity just to refresh my mind. It was nothing like let's completely diverge and do full time cybersecurity, but no, it is just like refreshing my mind and coming back to it. And yeah, cybersecurity is a huge domain. You need to find your specific niche in cybersecurity itself. So it's a huge domain. So I went with the red teaming part rather. I, I mean, throughout the whole day, I was building stuff, and when I switched to cybersecurity, I was breaking stuff. So that part, I mean, I felt interesting about, and that unfolded a huge butterfly effect. I went to PwC, had 9 torturous months, get back to backend development.
So you mentioned earlier that jack of all trades does not help you with anything, right? So how do you balance between how many technologies to explore? Exploring many technologies will definitely give you a back, right? You will be not exploring one in deep, in fully focused. So
Exactly.
what is the balance?
Exactly.
How many to
See,
explore?
yes, exactly. The thing is to explore, right? So there are it's like a binary tree itself. So once you see, okay, am I interested in backend or front end? I'm interested in backend. And backend, which language do I actually feel with and can move forward as my primary language? Let's go for Python. Okay, Python. In Python, if I'm provided to make an API framework, which framework would I be choosing? Let's go for Fast API. Let's move with Fast API. In Fast API, and this tree goes for a long distance. So you need to make decisions throughout the each and every node of it. Uh, that's how you choose it. And of course, there will be scenarios where the client is like, no, we do not need fast API framework. We completely need Node.js based API service. So you have to be flexible in those things. So if you are a backend developer, you need to be flexible in those things. If I'm not provided with a certain framework, if I'm not provided with my primary framework, I should be able to do it in a separate framework itself.
So you mentioned working at PwC. So what was the experience there?
Ah, let's get to the fun part now. Uh, there are. I can go on for hours about discussing imperial history. So I'll I'll
So
tell
it
you.
was
It was very.
around in third
Mhm.
year. You got
It
into
was.
PwC
I
in third
got
year.
the job in my final year. No, I got the job at the end of the third year, and for the half of the final year, I was their employee. Uh, but I'll tell you one thing that I'm very much thankful to this organization, PwC, for teaching me that what exactly an industry looks like. I gained that experience firsthand, and that experience is very much valuable, and I'll have this entire experience throughout my life, and I'm thankful for it. So, no offense to the organization. It's a great organization to work in. Only my department was something else, but it's a great organization to work with, start your career, or make good money and a great reputation of it. So yeah, PwC is a great organization, no doubt. But the people in it, I'll question on that. People inside the organization, that's questionable. That's up to your luck, to be honest. So I was a SOC analyst. My job was to copy paste in PwC. So that's it. That's the entire stream. My job was to copy paste. But even through that copy pasting role, I learned a lot, like how to deal with people, how to deal with clients, how to talk to your manager, how to ask seniors for some KT and other stuff. So those things are pretty much invaluable. But you will question things like the most. I was like, the question that most came up in my mind was like, how did this person get through the rounds of? I saw some persons in that organization. Thought, like, how did this person go through these rounds of interviews? And you will question yourself also. If someone among the audience actually gets to a particular organization like this, don't be surprised to see people who don't know anything getting into these analysis. So, and you will be the one who will be doing their job. That's the norm. So there'll be people who will be not doing their job, and you have to do it. So that's the norm in these huge organizations. There are numerous amounts of funny stories that have happened throughout the PwC days. One of the things that I'll say is that this particular employee is, I don't know if he's still an employee or not. He was a senior of us, and our office had a printer. So anything and everything office related, you can print on that printer from your laptop itself. So what this person did is that uh, he emailed himself from his personal email to his office email. He emailed his medical reports and for printing it out. Okay, uncool, but okay, someone did that. Even the manager knew it, that he was using the office printer for his personal usage. Some people do that. It's all right, no worries. Uh, Perfect. So he took out the printout, but the file remained on his computer. Remember, this is the fun part. The file remained on his computer. Later that day, a client asked for a report. So there's a scene tool there, and we run reports on it. So that particular employee went to the same tool, ran a report, and sent the report to the client. The next person in the shift was me, and client reverted back to me that uh, we asked for a log stoppage report. This does not seem like a log stoppage report. Please check. And the attachment itself. And it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I was there alone in the office. So what exactly is this attachment and who sent it? Let's look into it. It was the medical report that was sent to the client. So people do this stuff. This actually happened. And I was held accountable for handling this stuff. And I checked the roster, checked who was there in that particular shift who sent it. And that particular person got into the performance, we say PIP, he got into performance review and had to hear some nice words from the manager. Um, that was it. So these things happen all the time. People sending out their personal medical reports to the client and calling it a log stoppage. People actually seeing a brute force happen, be like, okay, let it happen. We'll do nothing and just mark it false positive. So these things have happened, and this actually raised questions in my mind that these service-based companies who actually promise you the service, are they actually promising you the service? So that's one thing. But yeah, that's how I got to know that if you become the sole dependency of particular team, you are screwed. You are literally screwed. And what that's not true for each and every team, but it's true for most of the teams. So choose your team accordingly and act fast rather than being getting sabotaged by the entire team. That's very important to know. It's pretty early for second years and the third years to know about this stuff. They will actually get to know once they get into internships and other stuff. But yeah, this will happen everywhere at any.
I mean, Dada, you were doing open source for the 2 years, and then what made you to leave at that time doing open source and joining PwC? And again, you did work at PwC for 9 months, and what made you to leave PwC and again rejoin open source?
See, I was a person who was filled with promises by PwC. I was like, okay, I'll get into this firm, I'll make something big, I'll do some impactful stuff because there are a lot of big name clients associated with PwC. I'll be making something impactful, which would impact a huge amount of people. This thing motivated. As soon as I stepped into PwC, I was not allowed to build anything. That was the first thing that I felt really sad about. I was not allowed to build anything. And I was like, okay, let it be. Let me protect people instead. I was a SOC analyst, a blue team person in the cybersecurity world. Let me protect people. And then I realized I'm not also protecting anyone. So for those 9 months, I realized that the thing that I was promised by people was to make a huge impact. I'm not making any impact. And that's when I decided, okay, let's switch back to development. I'm not making any impact over here. The thing that gave me the most impact was open source. I continued open source while working in PX and got into LFX mentorship. So that's how I reverted back. Let's go back to backend. Let's make impact over there. Let's see what happens because this is not giving me the thing that it promised. And yep, that's how it turned up and got into this remote job. Currently over there, it's
So you moved into then again LFX and then now doing remote job. So I
yep.
mean, yeah. So I mean, what is the at LFX first of all? So how was your experience with LFX?
It was great. It was one of the best organizations I ever worked with. Conware. It is administered by Red Hat. So I made it's a pretty funny stuff. I made an extension for um, GSoC, and everyone in that particular community uses that extension. That's the
Okay.
first thing that remotivated me. I'm again making something that is impacting people. That's how I came back. So that helped me a lot to actually come back to this part of development again. And yeah, that's the only motivating factor for me. If I am able to make something that people are using, I'm well and good.
Now you are working remote at a foreign company. So how is your what is your day to day responsibilities there?
See, working at a startup brings up with a lot of responsibilities. There is no role like this person is backend developer, he will do only backend. Startups like startups have like this flexible rules. So if I'm a backend developer, I'll be making APIs and data schemas throughout the day. But I might need to do some front end work or deployment work at the end of the day. This is where it wins. You get to know a lot of stuff, real stuff in your day-to-day activities. And you're not just limited to one particular thing itself. So your main thing is get the APIs delivered. You know that things working fine. But instead of that, the associated works like deploying the entire code base, maintaining CI/CD pipelines, and even making front end for it if the UI guy is out for a day or two. So that's how it brings the value in. And as an early person, this early career person, this brings a lot of value. This is highly appreciated. But yeah, there are cons. The security is not that great. The startup environment can go from day to night in the matter of few weeks or so. So there are always risks, there are always problems, but you have to choose your domain. If you are willing to take that risk, startup is a great way to start your career. Otherwise, if you want stability, you might go to MNCs and ICs.
So now that we have covered the different stages of your life, okay.
Sure.
Now, so how do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Well, I mean, yeah.
Uh, Good question. If it would have been in person in a much more informal way, I would have given some different answers.
Okay.
But yeah, let's be a bit formal. Uh, I do see myself in the upcoming 5 to 6 years to be working at a company where I'm valued. At least I'm getting the value, and I'm still making impactful stuff and motivating more. juniors and other people to get into this domain of development. So that's where I see myself. I mean, if I'm able to motivate more people like you or make a greater impact in community and stuff, and making an impact through the products that I develop, I'll be more than happy.
So actually, I have attended many of your events. I mean, the recent open source safari. So how did you make that talk? I mean, humorous. I mean, I have seen you. You have been many way been humorous. So how did you? I mean, implement that in your talks? I know that being humorous has many advantages. I mean, it makes it engaging and the audience remembers it. So how to increase the sense of humor?
This is a pretty hard question to answer, but see, I don't consider myself very funny to be honest, and it's just okay sense of humor. But the thing is that once you are starting to deliver something, a speech or uh, any speech or any workshop or like, also put yourself in the audience. Are you enjoying your own talk? Are you enjoying your own talk? If yes, okay, that's going good, and that's how it works. Now, see, I love comedy. I grew up watching comedy shows and other stuff. So humor is a thing that makes me engaged in some speeches. So just in order to keep myself engaged in my speech, it's a recursion, but keep myself engaged in my speech, I try to make jokes and do this stuff to make it up. That's all. Other than that, why would someone spend hours and 30 minutes or so stating at tech talks and something like that? Everyone is doing their day job or being engaged in tech throughout the day. At the end of the day, they do need some amount of refreshment. Right? So so let it be some amount of humor. So, yeah, that's how it is.
So I have been talking to my, I mean, it has been almost 40 minutes, I guess. So
It
I would,
has been, yeah.
yeah, I would want to ask the audience, among the audience, so if they have any questions, then they can definitely ask Suhumda. I guess there are questions there. So among the audience,
Yep, yep. They
are you
can
having any
flood
question?
me with questions. Yep, they
Yeah,
can flood
Purely
me
is
with
asking one
questions.
question. Purely, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So, hi, Shomda. I am a second year student, and
Hello.
my question is, hello.
You're audible. Go ahead with the question.
So, we are currently seeing a lot of news about layoffs across the tech industry. From your
Mhm.
perspective, as a software engineer deeply connected to both open source and corporative, how do you view these trends? And what advice do you
See,
want to give developers?
this is a great question to ask, to be honest, and I'm happy that you asked this. So, see, I also work in a very uh, fast-moving startup, which is moving very fast. And there have been instances where people have been laid off from my company itself. So, how to survive in this situation? See, in the when if people are offered cycles for free and you still decide to walk instead of cycling past, people will outrun you, right? People will completely outrun you. You are provided with a cycle for free, of course. Now, what's your effort in this? You need to learn how to ride a cycle. We
Yeah.
need to learn how to use this AI tools in order to leverage ourselves. So if someone is like, no, I'll not use ChatGPT, I'll not use Claude, I'll be that old school coder, they'll replace you. They'll for sure replace, because you will be taking 2 weeks to deliver one particular section of a app, which a particular person with AI tools can do in 2 days. So why would a company would waste 2 weeks rather than just they can invest for 2 days? So that's it. We need to upscale ourselves to use these AI tools day in and day out. We need to figure ourselves what exact prompts do we need to use in order to get our job done. And this is the thing that makes tech exciting. It's always changing. It's, it will again change in the upcoming 5 years. Maybe we need to learn something else. So that's the thing. We need to learn how to leverage these AI tools to their maximum potential. See, riding a cycle, once you learn to ride a cycle, you need to learn how to race with it. So that's enough. And at that point of time, nobody would be even thinking about walking. Everybody would be cycling. So at that point of time, you need to be a fast cyclist. So that's it. That's the thing that you need to do. If you are not upskilling yourself, you will be let go. And if you are upskilling yourself, you are completely up to date with all the technologies yourself. Believe me, there is a shortage of tech people still there in the industry. So
Okay,
that's it.
okay, Dada, we have a question in the chat. Someone is asking that everyone is learning, talking about learning DSA and practicing DSA problems will give us jobs at big companies like Mac. So suppose there are 1,000 students following that path. So what other qualities are the big companies looking for in the freshers? I mean, and a question from my personal side as well. Does doing DSA helps, or rather
See,
than yeah,
this is very funny in the current context of the market. If it was 3, 4 years back, I would say DSA is the go-to thing for getting into big companies. Nowadays, big companies know that these DSA problems would not be used in their day-to-day life, day-to-day work. This is just getting past the interview line. This is just used for getting past the interview. And the upcoming 2, 3 years, the importance of DSA will further diminish. Importance, this is my prediction. The importance of DSA will further diminish. They would be more like how much you have built throughout your entire college years, how many projects you have built, how many hackathons you have won, how many people you have connected with, how many people use your application, rather use your application once, and how many real life problems you have solved. That's the thing that the big companies will look forward in the upcoming years. If you see the track record, the importance of DSA has been declining through the age of the day, and it will be. People will be like, I need more cyclists in my team rather than walkers. So they will also be looking for people who are very much accustomed with these AI tools. First, and the second thing, I won't say don't ditch DSA at all. DSA is a very good brain teaser. It's a very good brain teaser. It helps you to develop this thinking capabilities. I also practice DSA and other stuff. I saw deep code and those kind of stuff. The thing that you get from solving these kind of problems is that once you're presented with a real life problem, your brain will have those neuron connections already developed to solve those kind of problems. You'll be able to take the optimum path to search for a particular thing and stuff like that. You will not be wasting any time to think about it or searching about it or even using AI for it. Your brain will already have, okay, this is the problem, I'll solve it this way because this is the optimal. So that's the only benefit that you get from it. Yeah, TSA is important to develop these skills, but in the upcoming years, it won't be a huge factor in interview. That's my expectation or prediction to be honest. But don't ditch DSA at all. Use it as a brain teaser. It's very good for your brain to help develop this problem solving skills. So yeah.
okay. So another question coming from a personal side again. So actually someone is doing a BTech in the third year. Okay, at the tier three college. So according to you, honestly, so what decision he should take? He or she should take if he or she wants to do pursue masters or not.
See, I'll tell this is I have been through this. So if you are confused, if you want to do masters or want to pursue a job, I would say get into an internship. Do you like that environment? Are you willing to do that kind of stuff for the upcoming 30 years of your life? If
Yeah.
yes, if yes, go forward with a job. Else, I'll tell you, if you want to experience the master's environment a lot in college itself, get involved with your professors, try to submit and write a paper on your final year project, and try to get it published. The experience that you will get while making this publication is the thing that you will be doing for the upcoming 20 years of your life. Are you willing to do that? Get these two experiences, decide. This is the most easiest way to do it. Rather easy it sounds, it's not be very easy for everyone. I was lucky to get this experience firsthand from my HOD. I worked under my HOD. I did some research internship for certain organizations, and that helped me decide what thing that I want to do. Do I want to do masters? Do I want to do uh, development job? So yeah, get these two things. Uh, Ask yourself questions. Get you answer your questions yourself. Listen to what your heart says in this matter, because that's what matters. Because this is the decision that will shape like the upcoming 20 years of your life. If you are willing to do that particular thing for the upcoming 20 years of your life, go for it.
Yeah. Also, someone might be doing masters or other stuffs because their parents told them to do so. How to cope up with that? I
If I
mean,
listen to my parents, I would have been probably doing, if everything went right, I would have probably doing MBBS. That's complete thing. So if you listen to your parents, you have to decide that if listening to my parents would be making me happy, if their goal, if they what they are saying, if I'm interested in that field, that's well and good. That's fine. But if it is something that you don't feel connected with, don't don't go for it. Rather, tell them that you don't want to go for it, because this is a very problematic scenario. Everyone can't tell that in front of their parents. I get that it gets very complex in Indian families like this, but you have to make a tough decision on this. That what do you want and what do your parents want? So prioritize what do you want. You must be wanting something. Nobody is like whatever the people will tell me I'll do that. Nobody is like that. Some Everyone has a personal goal, a personal want that I want to do this throughout my life. Get that thing, try to work on that. You will be much happier. So,
also the how to find security in tech. I mean, in terms of security, what I'm saying, I mean, in government jobs, you have security, right? That you will not be vanished from the job. Okay, so but in tech, in the rapid evolving, you have to stay updated. So how to remain secure? How to make a job more secure? Make
see,
connections.
sure. Yeah, no, not to make connections. It's just like if this generation is riding cycles, if tomorrow motorbike comes up, learn to ride that motorbike. It's just continuous upskilling to stay secure in this tech job. And if someone is like, no, I don't want to learn anything, I want to stay secure. Um, I was going to say get into MNCs like TCS and other stuff, but yesterday only I got the news that TCS also started laying off 12,000 of its employees. So yeah, that's not a choice anymore. You have to upskill yourself to stay secure in this tech field, to be honest. So
So
that's it.
let's
Otherwise, try for government jobs if you want stability, but you have to live with that 5% increment throughout your life.
that I mean the paycheck is not enough to sustain your life, right? Okay,
Yes.
let's
Yes.
yeah, let's go to the
Other than
audience
that, yeah,
question. Yeah,
audience questions will
any
flood me
questions?
with questions on this stuff. Yeah, there I see some hands.
Okay, anyone? Ask questions. Yeah, there are hands actually.
Hello,
Yeah, Swapna,
am I
you can
audible?
ask. Yeah, you're audible.
Greetings,
Yes,
everyone.
Swapna, you are. Yes,
Yeah,
hello,
so
nice
hello,
to.
sir.
Okay.
I'm Swapna
You are.
Falchaudhary from IT department.
Mhm. Yes,
So
go
my
ahead.
question was, I'm like fully pointing out on the balance factor. Like in my college, I'm in second year, and while like in my upcoming years too, while upskilling and the 75% attendance, the thing is there, and there is like I want to know that how you in your college life, in your college days, how you balance to upskill as well, you balance the CGPA, and you landed in internships, and how you balance it all. I want to hear it from you and get inspired.
Good question. But see, college will college will give all sort of barriers and other stuff. 75%. I didn't have 70. So the thing is that you need to choose the priorities right away. If you are completely absent from your college, you will be not. These are hacks, to be honest. All right, but you should be visible in some of the major papers. So be visible in those classes. That's it. This attendance part is completely gone out of the equation. This solves it. And other than that, I believe that studying for 2 weeks is enough for maintaining a CGPA. I did that. I got away with it. Most of the people in third year or fourth year, they just invest 2 weeks. They just get away with it in the semesters. Believe me, if you are, I mean, if you are just involved with studies throughout the year, just getting your heads down for 2 weeks before the exams will be more than enough to get you a very decent marks in college academics. And other than that, treat it like this. There are different parts, right? Academics, internships, upskilling, and rather than hanging out with friends and other that stuff is also very important. So it's like, okay, I'm getting into an internship, doing the internship stuff. I'm bored of this. Let's switch to upskilling. That is completely different. This freshens up your mind. Now you're doing something else, which is making you feel like this is something new. But you are upskilling yourself. Yeah. And now you're bored with upskilling, get to the academics part. Study something, read through stuff and everything. And after that, you feel like I'm completely trained. Go out with your friends, go explore restaurants or stuff throughout the city. Hang out. That is also very, very important. And then once you feel like, yeah, I'm completely recharged, let's repeat this cycle again and again. And try to repeat with different variations. Make it exciting for yourself. And that's how you keep yourself motivated and move forward. That's it. It's just like mixing the different parts in various ways with different permutations and combinations and making it exciting for
I hope this
Okay,
answers your
sir. Thank you
question.
so much.
you. And never forget to enjoy your college life. You will miss this once your college is over. So make sure you make memories out of it.
So
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
yeah,
Let's
Purely
move on to the
wants
next.
Purely wants to ask a question. So Purely, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
So I want to know that in the rapidly evolving tech ecosystem, how do you personally keep up with the new tools, technologies, or trends? What resources do you rely on?
See, in this particular age, you need to keep yourself updated with newsletters and everything. And if you are constantly involved with hackathons and other stuff, so you will get to know the what exactly the cutting edge is. That's how I get to know what is the cutting edge, and I upskill myself at the end of the day. And rather than just upskilling myself, as I'm in a startup, I have the liberty to actually implement those stuffs in my day-to-day life. So if I am making something, I'll try to solve that using that cutting edge AI tool or that particular method that is trending in the market. So yeah, that's how I keep myself updated and accustomed.
Okay, Partha. So we have been talking for 1 hour. So is there any questions, or we can just conclude this meeting? I mean, conclude this podcast.
Yep. I still
So
do have 15 minutes in hand, so if there are any additional, yeah, Ayush has a question. Go ahead,
you can
Ayush.
ask.
By the way, Shorodip, you are
Hello,
frozen. Your screen is frozen.
hello, Dada.
Yes, Ayush.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yep. Hello.
Uh, what do you think about Soham Parekh?
See, I do share the same first name, but I highly discourage that thing, to be honest. See, even that's again a practical example. If you are master of all trades, or rather master of all jobs, at the end of the day, you will get caught and you will be rather rendered jobless. So rather focus on one thing, put your in full mental strength in one particular thing, keep the rest of it for upskilling yourself. That's no man. Soham Parekh is like an animal. He has no social life, and a human without social life, I don't know what we call about.
Okay, thank you, Dada.
I guess, yeah. So the next question is coming from Sohail. Sohail, you can unmute yourself and ask. Sohail, hello, you're not audible. Yes, there is some network issues there. Okay,
Network issues.
is there
Can
anyone with
even
questions?
they can even question add questions in chat, I guess, right?
Yeah. Okay,
You
someone
can
has
drop.
already asked a question. Ask a question in the chat. That is, do I have to learn many things like web development, cloud, cybersecurity to get a good job as a fresher?
No, no, don't learn everything. You will end up learning nothing. Don't do that.
I mean, instead
Just
we
get
can
to know.
take, yeah, we can take a sequential approach, right?
Yes, they always take a sequential approach. If you are scrambling around everything, you will get to know nothing. I again will say, get to your niche, and while mastering your niche, you feel like, okay, I need to understand this part of cloud. Get to that part of itself. Don't get to the entirety of cloud. Get to that part of the cloud. And while making backend and log auth modules itself, if you feel like, okay, I need to get this part of cybersecurity, master that part of cybersecurity itself. Don't try to, okay, I mean, it's impossible to master cybersecurity as a whole, but only take that part of it. It's just like side missions in order to complete your main story, right? It enhances and gives you additional tools and weapons to move forward. It's just leveling up. It's just like a game itself. If you do complete the side missions, you get more power and you'll level up more, and your last missions would become easier for you. That's it.
Any questions? Well, then I guess Paoli has a question. You can ask Paoli.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have attended many hackathons events, so what is your favorite memories among them all?
All right, but a lot of memories and a lot of hackathons. To be honest, if I had to choose my favorite hackathon, it would be Binary, because it was my first complete involvement as a judge, and that hackathon was mind blowing. To be honest, their hospitality, the quality of hackers, the whole environment, the people, it was great. So yeah, it was one of the best till date. Rather than if I get to the inside stories of hackathon, it would take more than an hour. We can just do a hackathon focus podcast somewhere down the line. But yeah,
I mean, how many hackathons you have participated in
I have
as
lost
a
count for
participant?
it.
As a
As a
participant.
participant, also
What is the last
I have
hackathon
lost
as a
count.
participant? So what is the last
I
hackathon
part
as a participant?
I participated in my last hackathon was and it was organized by Jadavpur University back in 2022. I That was my last participation. After that, I got into this internships and open source stuff. Uh, that was JU Hack and Pitch 2022, and I developed something that I am not familiar with anymore. I developed a blockchain application at that point of time.
So
So yeah.
blockchain. And
Yes, exactly. And we won the track prize for the blockchain. And it was very early stage of those days. It was the blockchain was not that familiar also. Yeah, it was a blockchain application for library. So people would have ownership of their works and people can rent or buy their documents. So that was the concept.
so I guess Purely has another question. Purely, you can unmute yourself.
Just a quick one. What was the one tool, language, or framework you can't live without right now?
Your voice
I
was
guess
muffled.
can you repeat it?
Yeah, sure. What was the one tool, language, or framework you can't live without right now? Most depends on it.
Fast API, but fast API based on Python. That provides food in my stomach right now. So that's
So
answer.
yeah, why did you choose Flask instead of Fast API or Django?
Client requirement, man. They asked me to develop the entire project in fast API. And now it's like a whole building standing on fast. That's it. That's the only reason.
So Sohaili,
It was just
can you? Yeah, I guess another question coming from Sohaili. Sohaili, you can unmute yourself.
she was not able to unmute herself. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, it's a question.
You can also use the chat.
You can use the chat. Come on. We still have 5 minutes.
Okay, so I have a question from Paushali. She's asking that
Mhm.
she's asking for learning backend. I mean, what backend should someone learn to get into tech companies? I mean, what tech stack should someone learn?
Whatever you are familiar with, to be honest. So you need you need to adapt yourself to a tech stack. It's not like that following this particular framework would land you a huge job. It's like finding your framework, get accustomed to it, be the master of it, and be the master of it. And getting to it is the main. If you are a master of a particular framework, there are a lot of openings. Just make sure that you don't master a legacy framework like uh, COBOL and stuff like that. Don't do those outdated stuff. Whatever is trending, everything is trending right now.
With the
Master
help
with
of AI.
the framework. Master the framework that you feel with the most. That's it. Go with the other questions.
Does anyone have any question? Or we can just sum this up. Yes, they are not having any question.
It's good. Do you think you could have this is something just now? Do you think you could have done something in a better way? Yeah,
But okay.
I mean, do you think you have made any mistake while starting a tech journey? I do. I do. Not while starting my tech journey. I do. I think life could have been a bit better if I didn't accept the PwC offer. That's the only thing that I could have changed back in time. And that's the only thing I think could have been a bit different. Other than that, whatever I had in my control, I tried to do it. And the best approach in this particular way is that once you take a decision, forget about the other paths that were there in their first place. So once you are taking a decision, that's the only path to move forward. So pretend like there was no other path available to me. So that's the thing. You have to game your own mind to keep yourself motivated like this. Otherwise, you will at 3 a.m. sessions in the night, you will be feeling like I could have done something different at that point of time. Why didn't I? No, that's not a option anymore. That's gone. What's gone, it's gone. Let's see what can be done tomorrow. That's it.
Does anyone have any questions for, or you can just conclude this meeting? There is no question.
Yeah.
I guess yes. Dada. So you can go for dinner. Really. Yeah.
I
So
will be
Dada,
doing that. No worries. Everyone should be going to have their dinner. It's quite late right now. Go have your dinner. Keep yourself motivated. Do reach if you have further questions. You can reach out to me in LinkedIn and stuff like that. It's best to reach out to me through mail because that's the best way to reach out. But yeah, I'll be trying to get back all of your questions through LinkedIn and other mediums. So yeah, I hope to see some of you in the upcoming hackathons that are lined up. So yeah, pretty excited to meet you people in person someday.
thanks for joining us and finding time out of your busy schedule to spend time with
Love
us
that
and to inspire us.
because of this has been a pleasure to me. It is refreshing for me to have this kind of podcasts and get into hackathons and see what's actually happening at the ground level of tech. So it keeps me updated, it keeps me motivated, and that's it.
For joining. We hope that I will personally see you in the next hackathon also, and others can
Of
also see
course.
you. I mean, yeah. So, what is the next hackathon you are mentored for? You're mentoring.
Uh, as of now, I think I'll be there in status code. So looking forward to that. Rather than I have some other work lined up in the first week of August. So yeah, that's it.
If I got this chance to be there, let's meet there and have some gossips there. So, thanks again for
Of
joining.
course, of
Bye for
course, of
now.
course. Yep,
Bye, Dada.
yep.
Bye. Good
Everyone have
night.
a great day and very good night. Good night.
Yeah. Good night. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.